I went to my hotel room and I saw that massive storm in the Gulf. And I said, man, this is one time I know I'm going to leave.
We're watching television to see the aftermath of it and found out that the levees had breached and our houses were underwater.
What's up, man? He goes, there's a boat on your house. And I was like, on my house? He goes, yeah, there's a boat in your backyard, too.
This water flushed through at a tremendous pace. My car is 3 blocks away.
And you can look and see at everything. This looks like a ghost town now.
It's really crushing to even contemplate the idea that, you wouldn't be able to go back, that it wouldn't be as it once was, at least, to some degree.
I pray to the spirit world for help for dreams in Katrina's wake to heal my New Orleans.
Once I thought I saw you in a crowded, hazy bar, dancing on the light from star to star. Far across the moonbeam, I know that's who you are. I saw your brown eyes turning once to fire. You are like a hurricane, there's calm in your eye, and I'm getting blown away to somewhere safer where the feeling stays. I wanna love you, but I'm getting blown away. I'm just a dreamer, but you are just a dream. You could have been anyone to me. Before that moment you touched my lips, that perfect feeling when time just slips away between us on our foggy trip. You are like a hurricane, there's calm in your eye, and I'm getting blown away to somewhere safer where the feeling stays. I wanna love you, but I'm getting blown away.
When Hurricane Katrina struck New Orleans, the result was many of the levees and flood walls around the community failed, flooding New Orleans, which happens to be several feet below sea level.
You had different failure mechanisms in different parts. You had canal flood wall failures, you had levee, earthen levee failures, and then you had some failures down south caused by 2 hurricanes, in fact. And when at the end of the day, you had a tremendously powerful storm like Katrina that exceeded the design parameters of our hurricane protection system, and it created quite a lot of damage here in New Orleans. We're not just about repairing the system, it's about recovery of the city. And I think recovery of the city, the allowing musicians and the culture of New Orleans to be restored is dependent on the science as well as the capability of the hurricane protection system.
I've been in the right place, been a wrong time, been the right place, been the wrong line, been on the right trip, been in the wrong call, headed in a bad place. right set. Mother been around, round, round, round. I've been running, trying to catch your look in my mind. Got to give myself talking to this time. She's a little brain salad surgery. Got to kill all this insecurity. I've been in the right place, been the wrong time, been the right set, mother been the wrong mind, been in the right vein, mother hit the wrong arm, been in the right world, mother been the wrong, 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 wrong.
My name is Jan Ramsey. I publish Offbeat Magazine. It's a monthly music magazine in New Orleans. I've been doing it for about almost 20 years. The purpose of Offbeat is to celebrate and promote local music from New Orleans and Louisiana of all types. We cover Cajun music, rock, zydeco, blues, rhythm and blues, alternative music. It's all about the music that comes from this area.
I'm David Friedman, and I'm the general manager of WWOZ Radio in New Orleans. We've been on the air for 25 years. People think when they come to town, they think it's a cult because they see more bumper stickers with WWOZ on the cars than any other bumper sticker in town. And I guess in a way it is. We play the roots music, the jazz, and the heritage music of the city, so there's like at least 17 different flavors. And it truly is a community radio station. It's listener supported, and when we have our fund drives on air every 6 months, all the musicians come in. There's something like 3,000 to 5,000 musicians that were living in this city, and they all understood that OZ was their place. Eddie Bo said it best. He said WWOZ is the station that takes care of its own.
My name is Keith Spira. I'm the music writer at the Times-Picayune, New Orleans' daily newspaper. You can't really put a finger on any one thing that defines New Orleans music. There are so many elements to it. Going all the way back to the European brass bands combining with the African slaves and the rhythms that were in Congo Square. All these diverse elements, more than anywhere else in America, came together here.
The music culture there, it was something that has traditionally been unique. It was always passed on from our elders. It was a direct line from families, whether it's the Marcellus family, the Neville's family.
I'm Cyril Neville from New Orleans, of the Neville Brothers, the Uptown All-Stars, the Wild Chapatulas, and currently Tribe 13. Each neighborhood in New Orleans was a village, different little villages, and had a lot of different things in common, but also had a lot of things that was just, peculiar to that particular little area. For instance, when I was with my uncle, on Sundays they would have what we call Indian practice. And we would start off at his Indian practice. And when we played Hey Pocket, like two-way pocket way, we played it the way we felt it from up in the 13th ward. When we left from there and went down to the 3rd ward, the same song, but it's just another kind of little feeling to it, And then on downtown, on the other side of Canal Street, altogether different thing. Then when you go further down all the way up to the 9th ward, there's another thing happening.
Little bitty boy, with a hold of steel. But he can't boogie y'all, but his sister so will. You gotta feel the good music in your soul. It's gonna make your whole body slow boogie roll. Everybody sing, hey, 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 in a pocket way. Hey, now, hey, running out in a pocket way. I go Malaya, bitch set you on fire. My pretty Johnny now.
I've always said that New Orleans never was the deep South. It's always been the northernmost point in the Caribbean, and because New Orleans is unlike any other city in America.
Nobody out of the city of New Orleans has a clue what any of this is about. But these are real old roots.
Around 18-something, they started letting Africans do their thing in a place called Congo Square in New Orleans. And I think the music that became American music, that you could call American music, started in Congo Square. Because it was the first time the African and the European and the Native American and all of those other elements got together in one place and, you know, formed something unique to itself.
This is some people would say a headdress, but it's a crown. And during the days when I was first started out, the only one who would wear a crown was the big chief. The spy boy and the flag boy, they had feathers in their head, 3 or 4. This song is Lightning and Thunder. Lightning and thunder. Put the world on a wonder, yeah. Said I want to go outside, yeah. But it's raining. I said I got to go outside, yeah. But it's raining.
If you live in New Orleans for a long time, you don't really think that a hurricane is ever going to hit. And we've been hearing the doomsday scenario forever. This time, we knew a storm was in the Caribbean and coming into the Gulf, and I really didn't pay that much attention to it. My daughter called me on Saturday morning and said, "Mom, do you realize there's a Category 5 hurricane and it's coming right for us?" And I went, "Yeah, right." You know, so you turn on the Weather Channel and you see it, and I started to get worried. So I talked to my husband, and he said, "Well, why don't we just wait and see what happens overnight, and you'll see it's not going to get strong, and it's going to start turning the other way." So we went to bed Saturday night, and on Sunday morning we got up, and it was a Category 5, and I said, "I'm out of here."
And I heard my mother say, yeah. Shallow water, low mama. Shallow water, low mama. She said, "My son, when you go outside, so you might have to go out in the rain." Oh, yeah. Oh, don't you bow down. Oh, no, on that dirty ground. See, I wouldn't bow down. No.
And we ended up going to Baton Rouge, where my sister lives, and just waited. And it just started getting worse and worse and worse, and we couldn't get in touch with anybody. And then I think it was on Tuesday evening, we had the generator on. We were lucky enough to have access to a generator, so we had a little TV, and we were watching the first pictures that came out in New Orleans. And my sister had friends there, and I was watching TV, and I just broke down in tears. I thought, I can't believe this. And that's really before all the really bad stuff started to happen with the people in the convention center, and nobody knew that was even going on. And the Superdome, and it was just horrible. And I started thinking about, well, where is everybody? Is everybody safe? Where is everybody? So as soon as I got access to the internet, my sister had internet at her house, I started emailing people that I knew, especially musicians. I had heard that Alan Toussaint had gotten to New York, so I emailed Alan, and he responded right away, so he was okay. And I started emailing Irma Thomas, and I didn't get a response from Irma. And I knew Irma lived in New Orleans East, and I was really concerned about her, and I never did get a response from her.
This is the exterior of the Lion's Den. These 2 air conditioning units are part of the indoor cooling system of the Lion's Den, which I don't think they were underwater, which means they're probably still workable if we can get them out of there. But basically, right now, nobody wants to go in there because it smells like This is a portion of the sign that was on the Broad Street entrance side. It has my husband's name on it, Emil Jackson. He's my husband and manager, and it just took him a while to I don't think he's really gotten it all in yet. He's taking it in doses and bits and pieces. And
Irma and Emile, in spite of traveling all over the world with your music, the place we're sitting right now is your own nightclub in New Orleans. There's still a real neighborhood connection here, too.
Yeah, I got a lot of friends back here, and we enjoy it.
this is what's left of the sign that hung from that sign holder up there. It's still intact, but of course it's not usable. But this is Irma Thomas's Lion's Den, phone number, and you can see how high it actually lapped up against the wall right there before it started to recede down. This marking here is showing that they entered the building to check to see if there was any survivors or non-survivors inside. And I guess some of these markings show that there weren't any. And the date that they actually, 9/12 is when they actually entered the building to check to see if there were anybody in here that didn't make it out. Well, of course, we had operated the Saturday night, and I don't think they opened that Sunday because it was the day that the storm was actually making it here and people were beginning to evacuate. So this is the Broad Street entrance to the Lion's Den. The ceiling is falling in from the dampness that it had already settled in here prior to. We had some roof problems prior to Katrina. And aside from the aftermath of Katrina, they just gave way and the rest of it is here on the floor. Right at the top of the stage, where you see the posters and all, there's some Christmas lights that you guys hung back around 90, I guess 93, 94, when you were doing the filming with the True Believer documentary you were doing. And we decided to keep them. They have not been moved in all those years.
Came into this smoke-filled room. Suddenly I was face to face with you. Felt a flood of emotions, like a wave they rolled on through. Took me back yesterday. Love was all I had for you. It was good enough, I thought. Good enough for you. Smoke-filled room burns my eyes. It's like the rain from a troubled sky. But I ain't crying over you. These are tears from a smoke-filled room.
I left that Saturday morning when Katrina was still down in the Florida area to go play a gig in Austin, Texas. And during the gig that Saturday night, that's when Katrina took a turn towards the Mississippi, Louisiana coastline. And by the time we finished the gig, we had found out that she had made her way to Louisiana. So the guy said, if you guys can't get back in, because the airports are all closed, so why don't you play Sunday night? So we played the Sunday night. We were watching television to see the aftermath of it and found out that the levees had breached and our houses were underwater. Behind me is a canal that fed into the Lake Pontchartrain area. Well, when the water rose, of course, that canal was part of the system that was rising along with the water that was flowing out of the Lake Pontchartrain. My main concern is the mold situation inside. If that is not something that we can conquer without having to tear the house down, then I may have to razz the house and start from the bottom up. This is why I didn't want your son to come in, see? The mold. There was a table here that wound up over there somewhere from the water inside. And the reason you can't see the water line in here, all this has been ripped out. All the sheetrock has been taken out so the 2x4s and studs can kind of dry out. Hopefully we can salvage the place if they don't decide that it's not salvageable. Ironically, it looks like I have a tear coming out of my eyes. I've had a few of those, trust me. I've definitely shed a few of those.
When I talked to her, I felt so much better because she said, you know, I lost everything. I lost my houses, my rental houses, my business, my cars. But you know what? We're going back. I can't stay away from New Orleans. And that made me feel so much more positive.
Most of these guys are from the New Orleans area, and they're doing active duty as protectors for us and our property. Is it hard on you guys patrolling and seeing all the devastation while your own properties are in pretty much the same situation?
About 75% of our company houses have been destroyed or damaged in some way, and about the same amount of our families are displaced. A few of my soldiers in my squad have been displaced to Florida, where their families are down there, and we're trying to get them back here. It's been really tough on us.
I'm sure it is. If you don't mind, let me give you a hug.
When you go through something like this, you kind of have you don't know if it's gonna, if you can survive or not. And you have to, I went through good days and bad days and good days and bad days. And now I'm having more good days than I have bad days. Because I feel like we can survive. Things will come back. They're never going to be the same, though.
I'm Mark Samuels. I'm the president of Basin Street Records. New Orleans has such an amazing amount of talent. I want to be identified as, the best source of New Orleans music, the best label. When Katrina hit, I first quickly evacuated to Memphis. We actually got out of here in advance. I have 3 children. I'm a single father. That's my priority. The record label's nice, but I have to deal with my children and my family. My parents and I, we all went to Memphis, trying to figure out a place to be after that. We knew that we weren't coming back here right away. And I went through a dozen places and ended up deciding on Austin. Over here on the left, we used to be our sales director's office. Now it's storing posters, and I see Henry Butler posters and Kermit Ruffin's cassettes. This was our copier and fax machine, and it's all, some of those things made it through the flood. We had about 2 feet of water in here. Hal, our graphic designer's up in Washington, D.C., and Jeremy's in Connecticut. And I think everybody's going to come back. They were traumatized, but I think they'll all be back. Right now, the company's basically down to a little bit of effort by a few people and a lot of effort by me. This is my home. I'm right on the border of New Orleans and Jefferson Parish in an area called Lakewood South. I don't think this piano is going to be very useful. We had mold growing up to about 8 feet, 7 feet. Water was up to about 5. I just happened to call a number on a street sign, on a little campaign sign that was sitting in the neutral ground, and got lucky. And 2 guys came over that day about 2 hours later, and then I had a crew of about 8 guys who spent the next 3 days just gutting this place completely, ripped up the wood floors in the front of the house, took down every piece of sheetrock, every bit of insulation. But I have a second floor. Michael White, Henry Butler, they lost their homes completely. Everybody else, has varying degrees. Theresa Andersson lives over in Algiers, and I think her home was okay, but she can't live a normal. Nobody. It doesn't matter whether you lost your home, whether you had water in it or not. This is a different city, and everybody lost something.
You don't have to dry your eyes. Go ahead and cry and let your sweet tears stain my shoulder. It may not look so good right now, so get your troubles off your chest and let somebody hold. You're gonna be alright. Tomorrow is a new
got on the road and started driving, and it was a strange atmosphere. At this point, you know, we didn't even have rain yet. And we got out towards Baton Rouge, and it was moving really slow, you know. It's usually about an hour and 20-minute drive. It took us 5 hours to get there. But when we were on the spillway, the first band of wind and the first clouds and the rain came in, and you could see it. It was just like this paint stroke across the sky came in, and we were sitting at a standstill on the bridge as this came in, and they started shaking the van violently, and we started shaking back and forth, and the little pickup truck in front of us started tilting as the rain came down. And I knew that this is nothing, this is just the very first, but we were so worked up and we're so scared and we didn't know what to expect, so, you know, we were crying. We're sitting in the car crying, thinking this is it, we're gonna die, it's over. But of course we didn't die. We made it.
You're gonna be alright. Tomorrow is a new day. Oh, you see it in your eyes. Try to keep your head up. Don't you ever give up. Even if your heart breaks, yeah, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
I like to call it Katrina today because of the amount of damage it hit to Houma and Lake Charles from Rita. It's like now they've blown away the only safety valve that was left for New Orleans from the west. Mississippi's going from the east. New Orleans is a sitting duck mount. And what little or nothing I've seen done on the levees, repairing them. The whole thing is like something like leftover footage from Hiroshima.
We're standing here at where one of the flood walls and the levee on the 17th Street Canal has breached. This is Orleans Parish on this side, Jefferson Parish is on the other side. The walls just tumbled. When they tumbled, the hurricane had already passed, and we thought we had actually escaped relatively okay, considering how bad it could have been if the path had been right over the city. And I guess it was late, 12 to 14 hours after the hurricane had passed, that this breached. And the waters just poured into this neighborhood. And as you can see, completely wiping these homes out.
My name is Stephen Asaf. This is my dream home for many years. I'm a musician. My house was 20 feet further closer to us. It was flush with this house and 6 feet from that house. This garage top was flush up against the levee. So this garage was moved about 100 feet. My house was moved forward against my cypress tree. This was actually my music studio. I had my piano in this corner, my computer in that corner, my recording equipment here, my guitar amp over there, my microphone bag, my metronome. Let's see if it works. Don't think so. And then the mold. Lovely smell. Steve, please call me. Andrea. I have told her I was alive. Hey, peace. Glad to see you're okay.
We were worried about you for a while because I heard nobody knew where you were for a while.
Yeah, I escaped. Thank goodness.
Thank God.
Oh, another note. But this is my rolling keyboard. That's my daughter's room with the bunk bed. She was not here. She evacuated with us, and that's the baby bag. My daughter's 10 tomorrow, November 3rd. She's in Costa Rica. That's where her mother and her are from. So they went back to their home for a little while till I can get us another place, because I'm sleeping on different people's floors in different garages. Here we are at the backyard of my mom's house. My friends used to call it the Hotel California. Here we are at the swimming pool. My mom dropped her cell phone in there today, so we got her a new one. The Cabana Studio, we played endless hours in there. And a stranger's car in our swimming pool. My mom calls it the carpool.
This is when we had a good time with music, happy parties, festivals, and so forth right here.
All of me, wanna take all of me. Can't you see you mean the world to me? You took the best, so why not take the rest? Why not take all of me?
You know, I grew up here, lived here all my life, except for college, and but my wife is not from here, so she has been interested in living other places, and these are discussions we had before the storm. But now, especially in the early weeks after the storm, I found this sort of resurgent hometown pride bubbling up really in both of us. A lot of other people have those sorts of feelings, and it's going to be a matter of whether or not the disruptions and the inconvenience wears them down over time.
I say New Orleans is kind of like an amputee with phantom memory. You drive off the main course, you're going to see devastation. If you come to the French Quarter, if you go to Voodoo Fest, it looks like the New Orleans that we always knew. And it's both. We are not broadcasting from the city yet because our studio is located in Armstrong Park. And it took, like I say, some hits from the hurricane. The majority of our volunteer show hosts are still can't get housing in the city or don't want to live at the level of discomfort that it requires. I mean, you're still in a city where there's a curfew. You're still in a city where there's no mail delivery, there's no paper delivery. I mean, there's no phone service in many cases, not to mention there's no gas, so there's no hot showers. I mean, there may not even be water or electricity depending on where you live. For us, we don't see much point in rebuilding a community radio station if we don't have our community. The question is, how do we rebuild our community? And that first layer is the layer of the musicians.
Whatever you need, I'll be there by your side. I pledge my love to you, with God as our guide. Nothing in the world can keep us apart. My dearest darling, I offer you my heart.
I'm Eddie Bo, and this is Veronica and Karen, and we're about to enter into our coffee shop, and we don't know what to expect. So we're gonna go in with masks and I guess to take care of ourselves and with the boots, and I know the piano is gone because the water line is higher than the piano. Oh God. Whoa. Oh God.
How did all the chairs get knocked around? Come on.
Yes, wow.
Just traveled in here.
Ooh.
That's to sign off. Look at the mold on that. The men's room. Oh. And the sodas exploded. The caps just popped off.
Oh, the refrigerators are down.
Oh, they must have been floating. Oh. Oh goodness. Oh no.
Oh my God, look at that. Ronnie, we're gonna have to chop that lock off and let that air go through both the back door and the front door. We won't be able to do anything in here. There's me and Mac up here. They stole Marcia, they stole Marcia one day. I guess I wasn't watching too well. Marcia was up here because we three play together every piano night. We're just that close. It's electrical. It's a baby grand, but Yamaha made this into it. In fact, all the keys are stuck now. Look at this. Too much germ warfare in here.
And you can't leave doors on.
I was playing, when this hit, I was playing in Paris. I was at the Meridian, I think. Yeah, the Meridian, I think it's called. A hotel for a week. And we had to stop in Philly. Say, you can't go home. I say, why? I said, Katrina's torn up the whole city. And you can look and see it at everything. This looks like a ghost town now. But anyway, we put our heart and soul in here to have something for musicians and the people that come out of town. And you can see what's left. The sheet metal blew off up to that point along that line. And this is another part where it's going to rain in the inside, because that tin, this metal, the metal was protection. You see, it's on the side. Y'all take the last look, and I would suggest you don't go back in there at all. Let it go. Let somebody clean it. That's my...
Somebody like a prospective buyer?
Yeah, buyer, lease. Let it go. My dearest darling, I offer you my heart. I do not, oh no, baby. I offer you my heart. One more time I got to say to you, baby. Don't you know that I need you by my side? Hey, hey, hey. It's all right now, baby. All right.
The question of what happens with the music community, in a way it's putting the cart before the horse. You know, on the one hand, people say, you know, we need the musicians to come back to sort of build that environment that has always drawn people to New Orleans in the first place. But on the other hand, you know, the musicians are by and large in the same boat as everyone else. Their homes are destroyed, services aren't going to be restored in those neighborhoods for a long time to come, and they found themselves in other environments which some of them are finding aren't so bad.
My name's Don Kite. I used to say I was the owner of Grant Street, and then I figured out it owned me. But it's Grant Street Dance Hall. We've been here for 25 years. We first got the wave of Katrina effects. A number of musicians had evacuated here prior to the storm. And so we had musicians that were here that couldn't go back home and couldn't go back to work where they were booked. We had musicians booked here. Cyril Neville was booked here for his birthday party, and we couldn't even find him. Musicians are starting to get back on their original plans now, and people that were booked in New Orleans are booking elsewhere. Some of the people that were booked to play New Orleans wound up playing here.
Started at 4 o'clock, went till the midnight hour. Everybody got so high they couldn't get much higher. The landlord come at 6 and 10, said last time I told you, 12 o'clock, I'm calling a cop and this party better be over. That's enough of that stuff, we're gonna tear the whole place up. We got a little too little and a lot too much. That's enough of that stuff. We had
from, not me, but from everybody that came to our fundraiser the other night in Austin. Cyril played the Iguanas play, and we have a group called Instruments of Healing.
Whoa. Oh,
and
man.
they're getting the money together. So it was a big pool of money, and this floated to the top, and it's just I mean, it's
Just
so
35
light.
pounds.
35 pounds. It's just as light as
Oh,
that.
oh. Oh,
But it
that's-
has a real good touch and a real good
Yeah.
sound, and it's got it makes a lot of sound. And Yamaha gave us a really, really good deal on it too. So I mean, it's like a combination of everything. This is not just me at all. This is a combination of everybody that's just cares. I'm trying to get this working for everybody.
that's-
Get you working again.
Well,
you know,
thank
you can't just move to the country.
I know. I know. I'm gonna come out of the country.
We have a homecoming. We have Marcia Ball, long, tall Marcia Ball coming in. One of the best supporters Grant Street's ever had. There are pictures of her in various stages of her career all over the walls. Take a look.
And I'm still alive, because there's one wall up there and everybody's dead on that wall. I'm not on that wall yet.
Yeah.
On the other 3 walls.
What has happened down here is the wind have changed. The clouds rolled in from the north, and it started to rain. It rained real hard, and it rained for a real long time. There was 6 feet of water in the streets of Evangeline. The river rolls all day, the river rolls all night. Some people got lost in the flood, some people got away all right. Now the river broke through, way down in Plaquemine. There was 6 feet of water in the streets of Evangeline. Louisiana, Louisiana, they're trying to wash us away. They're trying to wash us away. Louisiana, Louisiana, they're trying to wash us away. They're trying to wash us away. President Coolidge come down in a railroad train with a little fat man with a notepad in his hand. President said, "Oh, little man, ain't it a shame what the river has done to this poor cracker's land?" Louisiana, Louisiana, they're trying to wash us away. They're trying to wash us away. Louisiana, Louisiana, they're trying to wash us away. They're trying to wash us away.
I don't think that the musical traditions of New Orleans will ever die, but the intensity of the music is going to be diluted. That's a good word for it, because one of the things that was really important about New Orleans was the music in generations of families. And they're spread all over the place now. Are they going to come back? I don't know.
My name is Kermit Ruffins from New Orleans, Louisiana. And I came to Houston, Texas, and moved my whole family here because of Hurricane Katrina. I would bar hop the whole city before my gig. And see 5 bands before my show, you know what I mean? And the love that New Orleans is a very special, special place.
My name is Christopher Hayes, and I work at the Red Cat Jazz Cafe. After Hurricane Katrina, I met Kermit Ruffin. I didn't even know who the gentleman was. He's sitting at my bar drinking Budweiser, and we're just hanging out. I was just talking to him. He told me it's from New Orleans, and Houston, we kind of had taken him in. And he was sitting there and he goes, I play the trumpet, I said, oh, yeah, well, bring your trumpet, come on, open jam session on Tuesday. And the rest, he got up on stage that Tuesday and blew it. It was amazing. And he said, I've been all over the world 14 times and all that. And I asked him how he came, to the Red Cat Jazz Cafe. And he said he got off, and not to plug the Red Cat, but he said he got off the plane, he took a cab, and he said, take me to the #1 place you listen to jazz, and that's how I ended up here, and the rest is history.
All the musicians of Houston just opened their home to us like you wouldn't believe, man, and really has been taking care of us since then all the way to now. As far as getting my drummer a new set of drums, getting my bass player a bass, helping get my piano player an electric piano that we could, you wouldn't believe the love that we got from those musicians. You would not believe it, man. God bless their hearts.
We had them play one Friday and Saturday, and we had no idea it would have that impact. And so it made us change our format. We were just like a smooth jazz venue, and now we're just Kermit Ruffin venue, I guess, And New Birth and the rest of the gentlemen and Rebirth, those guys has been wonderful. I hang out with those guys every day.
My name is Phil Fridge of the Rebirth Brass Band, leader of the band since 1983. Has been around for 22 years. Right now, the Rebirth Brass Band, well, I'm gonna say myself, is stationed in Houston along with a couple of my guys from the band. We had to leave New Orleans due to the storm Katrina, and so it's like we have 5 guys here. We have 2 of my guys who are staying like up north, and also the sister leader of the band, my brother Keith Fridge, who's staying in Dallas, Texas, about 2 hours away from here. Lord is an old gospel hymn. We was taught that song back in New Orleans when the band first started. That was one of the first songs we had to learn due to the fact that it's an old traditional and it's a gospel. Everybody spread it out. It's kind of hard to work normally like we used to do. Like the little gigs, we had simple gigs we was doing in New Orleans for the little people. Like somebody would call a Rebirth to do a party for this Friday. You know, it was a local gig for our regular community, and it was no problem. Hey, they could say that we got a couple $100 with the Rebirth come play. Sure, we'd be there, come play at your house, play a jazz funeral. Whereas now, if somebody say, I need you to come play for a little party, well, we so far out, it'll cost you more money. And we're gonna miss them kind of things, doing the things for the little people, the local things that we're used to do.
The Rebirth Brass Band would play 3 and 4 gigs on an average Saturday. You know, they'd play somebody's birthday party in a yard in the afternoon. They'd play a second line. They'd play a club gig. Then they'd go play an after-hours gig. And that kind of schedule is not going to be possible until the city is repopulated again.
I have to tell you something that happened right after Katrina. I got an email from a guy who publishes a music magazine in Texas, and I was, at this point, destroyed. I mean, just depressed, mentally distraught. He said, well, why don't you just, send me the names of your writers, because we're going to do this big story on Louisiana music, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going like, man, don't you have any feeling for what happened here? It's like picking at the bones, of New Orleans music. The vultures are circling.
My name's Steve Wertheimer, and I'm the owner of the Continental Club here in Austin, Texas, and I've had a love affair with New Orleans for the last 30 years, and have been really, really close friends with the Iguanas, who have played the club for close to the last 15 years while they've been together.
es a dónde va. Mira, es un avión, mamá. Qué bonito es a dónde va. Mira, mira. En una casa chiquita, chiquita, acostado con su mamá. El niño dice, es un avión, ¿a dónde va? Mira, es un avión, mamá. Qué bonito es a dónde va. Mira, es un avión, papá. Qué bonito es a dónde va. Mira, mira. En un barrio muy sereno, me tome el dedo con su manita, se raje el cielo, el sonido de bombardero. Es un avión, papá. Qué bonito es a dónde va. Mira, es un avión, mamá. Qué bonito es a dónde va.
We were on the road up in the Northeast when the iguanas were on the road when the hurricane was coming on its way to New Orleans. So we had to have all of our families go find refuge on their own. And we finished the tour just as the hurricane was about to make landfall. So we all kind of scattered to wherever our families had gone to.
I was talking to my friend Steve Wertheimer from the Continental Club, who said, "Well, Joe, come on up here, and I've got a lot of people that are willing to put people up. We've got a good school district that we can get the kids involved in right away." We ended up here, and we have a band called the Texiles. So we have Texas people and New Orleans exiles that are doing the Texiles, which is pretty fun. So that's kind of how we're here in Austin.
País muy bello, un pueblito quemado, quemado, y una niña llorando. Ya no, porque vienen. Ay, mira, es un avión, papá. Qué bonito es a dónde va. Mira, es un avión, mamá. Qué bonito, qué bonito, qué bonito. Mira, es un avión, papá. Qué bonito es a dónde va. Mira, a dónde va.
Like our living room. Well, actually, it's like the main studio. This is our living room, but we use it as our music room, and that's where we do a lot of playing. We work on Iguana's music and other bands' music as well. And we came back to find it like this, and it was, everything was just everywhere.
Steinway piano.
The piano was that's mold all along that photograph there.
Drums upside down.
Drums are upside down. My Barry was like, ugh, it was did pretty bad. This had floated against the wall. Okay, now we're back to normal. Yeah. This was like a pretty organized place prior to this. Everything floating, and I keep having this vision in my mind of everything in the room just kind of, finding its place in the water.
That's a very expensive Bajo.
That's a Bajo sexto. Just all the glue came off.
Floated view.
There's the water line. You can kind of.
Turned upside down.
You see the water line on the paneling. There's a Bajo under there, kind of cracked.
Austin's a beautiful town, and there's really nothing not to like about it. New Orleans at the moment is not itself. You know, it's like we really long for a city that doesn't exist right now, you know, and it's really crushing to even contemplate the idea that, you know, you wouldn't be able to go back, that it wouldn't be as it once was, at least, you know, to some degree. So we have to hold out hope that, you know, that will all at some point be remedied and, you know, we'll be able to go back. But it's definitely been a huge comfort to have the band stay intact.
When I get home, I'm gonna call my mother. When I get home, I'm gonna cook her some dinner. When I get home, I'm gonna invite my brother. But right now, right now, I am a roaming. When I get home, I'm gonna unpack my bags. When I get home, I'm gonna wash these dirty rags. When I get home, I'm gonna pack them up again. And I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going right back, roaming. I said right now, right now, I am roaming.
There's a hole in the calendar, a cancellation or something like that, I can get on the phone and, you know, get the Iguanas in here one night, get Cyril Neville in here another night, you know, get some of the guys from the Radiators in here another night. I mean, it's been great for us in Austin. It's been great having all these guys here, and I know a lot of them want to get back to New Orleans and try to get their life back together, but I'm sure I'm going to miss them when they wind up having to leave town, because it's been great having them here.
From the first day we were here, it's like I got a call from Marshall Ball, and I heard you in town. You know, I got a few friends that you might be hearing from. So, you know, matter of fact, she wasn't even in town. She was on the road, but you know, she got in touch with us, and then the next call was from Mr. Eddie Wilson. And the next thing I knew, we were here at Threadgill's playing music. Every Tuesday, my wife cooks red beans and gumbo, and we do New Orleans music, and we call it New Orleans Cooking and Juking.
2 months and 9 days ago, I think it was, when we had the Pianorama here, Katrina was slamming into New Orleans, and Irma Thomas showed up to sing with Marcia Ball. And at the end of the night, Marcia pulled me to the side and she said, I'm going to give you 2 telephone numbers. It's for Cyril Neville and his wife, Danielle. They're going to be getting here tomorrow, and I'm going out of town on tour. And she said, Wilson, you take care of these people. And in her eyes, she said, or your ass is grass. She said, Cyril is the brother with the message. Your buttock needs a twitch, and we have got Tribe 13. We have got Cyril Neville and his wife, Danielle, and we've got the most talented bunch of musicians that ever, and Papa Molly, who's been here all along, a friend of Cyril's for 20-something years.
I grew up in Louisiana, and my mother's side of the family is all from New Orleans. I met my wife in New Orleans 20 years ago. We got married there. Dirty Dozen played at my wedding. My grandma was the editor of the Times-Picayune. So I got some serious New Orleans roots. But most of the last 15 years or so, I've lived in Austin, Texas. And when Katrina hit, my friend Cyril Neville brought his family to Austin, and they've been living there ever since. And we've been playing in this new band called Tribe 13, which is actually a lot of Cyril's music that he was doing with the Uptown All-Stars. But now that he's moved it to Austin, it's taken on a slightly different flavor. Cyril likes to describe it as the gumbo has spilled into the chili.
Welcome, Cyril Neville and Trap 13. Thank you. Welcome to Greg Gills.
Gotta do some blues in there tonight.
Well, it's hard for me to sleep at night. I got these heartbroken dreams. You know it's hard to sleep at night. I got these heartbroken dreams. Well, heartbroken and downhearted. I got the blues for New Orleans.
Well, I won't say that I'm not going back because there's going to be a nice big fight that's going to go on for who's going to own what in New Orleans and whether that's going to really be New Orleans again.
There ain't gonna be no New Orleans without the second line clubs, without the Mardi Gras Indians, without the people that carry them lights in the parades and all of that. That lady that make that yucca meat that be down there on Claiborne and Orleans, you can't have no New Orleans without the Ninth Ward. 6, 7, 8, and Ninth Ward is the heart, the root of that gumbo that they call New Orleans. And without the root, you know there ain't no gumbo, y'all. But it don't make no difference what they do. We, the people of New Orleans, is survivors. The survival shit in this. We ain't going nowhere. For my children and my grandchildren. I'd have no choice but to act and live humble here in Babylon. Here in Babylon. The man, he has my name and my rank and my serial number here in Babylon. The judiciary system, they're using it to down-press me, yeah, here in Babylon. You know the welfare and the food stamps, they're using them as a weapon on me, yeah. And my children too. But I swear that the man that's now on top, verily one day he gotta drop. And while he's searching among the stars, I hope he finds peace instead of war. Yes, instead of war. Yeah. the lower ninth ward. Home of some of the baddest musicians that ever played an instrument. You gotta get it back. The seventh ward. The seventh ward, some of the greatest carpenters, bricklayers in the world come from the seventh ward. Why they ain't down there rebuilding New Orleans, y'all? Let's make some noise. Make some noise about this.
Deeper than just bringing the musicians back, which is fine enough, is how do we restore, renew, or reinvent the lines of cultural transmission in this city? Until somebody worries about how we get our neighborhoods back, how we get the schools that serve those neighborhoods, how we get the music programs, especially the bands, the marching bands, how we get those programs back, this may be the last generation. I mean, as the Mardi Gras Indians go, as the social aid and pleasure clubs go, in my opinion, so goes New Orleans. And we can either be a culture that represents itself to tourists in a kind of curatorial way, which to me is totally dead, or we can be a culture that expresses itself, that is the living live end of an incredibly rich heritage. And that's what New Orleans has always been.
If they don't do something to protect these neighborhoods from future disasters and rebuild something, this country's gonna be missing a lot of things. It forms naturally in this area. It's a very fertile area.
Well, for good or ill, there's always been a sort of fatalism, maybe, to life in New Orleans. You know, and that maybe ties into the tradition of the jazz funerals where, you know, death is not celebrated, but death is intertwined with the celebration of life. You know, you have the jazz funeral where there's the dirge to mourn, but then the spirit is cut loose and the survivors celebrate. And that plays into, I think, people's relationship with hurricanes over the years too. You know, there's always that, oh, you know, we could get the big one, we could get the big one. But in the meantime, life and the party goes on until it arrives. Well, it finally arrived. And so now everyone's left to sort out, what do we do from here? You know, what do we do from here? I mean, is the city buried or is it gonna live again?
Steve Ray Hodge, the founder, executive producer of the Voodoo Music Experience. Started it in 1999 down in New Orleans in City Park. This was going to be the 7th year, or you know, today is the 7th year. Given that, we said, you know, do we want to do it? Is it the right thing to do? Is it the right time? Do people need a music festival? And we came out of it going, yeah, we have to, you know, we have to take the next step. We landed in Memphis, and there's a great vibe in Memphis. The home of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. It's on the river. It's got a lot of the same energy as the city of New Orleans. So we decided, you know, this is the right spot. as we started putting that together as a benefit show, we got a phone call from some people in the business community and the administration down in New Orleans that basically said, what if? You know, we're ready to send the message to the world that we're ready to rebuild it. And Ray Nagin had the best quote and said, for all of you people out there that have our musicians right now, they're on loan. We're taking them back. So, you know, yesterday we ended up in New Orleans for the first major music event in the city.
I have so much admiration for him that he decided to move one day to New Orleans. I was so thrilled that he did that because so many people are just bailing, you know, which makes me think, please don't do this. You know, don't, you know, there are people here. So I had a great time.
Well, we did voodoo music in New Orleans yesterday, and that was great. I think we were one of the local hometown bands, and we did pretty well in New Orleans. And our style tends to be very revelatory, very celebratory.
Down off a rampart, there's a little hideaway, and if you got a brave heart, well, come and visit any day. There's a princess named Celeste, eyes like fire, her hands a mess. Incense burning, my luck is turning. I can't tell, but I'm under her spell. I gotta go, don't know where. I'm tired and I'm sick, I'm living scared. Get to shaking and I can't stop. I live upstairs from a voodoo shop, a voodoo shop, a voodoo shop. I'm living upstairs from a voodoo shop, a voodoo shop, a voodoo shop.
The storyline is, you know, two great cities, one great cause. So the New Orleans show was free and open to the public. The Memphis side was set up as a fundraiser. It's really been incredible.
Oh yeah, I live in the tour bus. I live in the tour bus, but we all live in the tour bus. But ever since they opened up the city, we can go back home now. So, and unlike, you know, my other band member, Paul, I didn't lose my house, lose everything. So.
My wife and I, she's our tour manager, Shelley, and we lost our house. We had 10 feet of water and I had 9-foot ceilings. As Mikey said to me, the first month was easy to keep your spirits up because it was like this adventure that you could see if you could face this test and survive. But now we're over 2 months in and the fun's gone out of it and I just want to go home, you know.
We wrote a couple of songs and recorded them. We ditched a couple of songs from the album lineup and put these two in. One called Home, as in I Want to Go Home. It's sung by Paul.
It only makes sense that Memphis, the birthplace of so much great rock and roll, should give shelter to rock and roll when we need it. Thank y'all very much, Memphis. This song here is called Home.
He just started mentioning places like It's Hard in St. Bernard, there's Tears in Algiers, and I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. And we sat down, and I had a friend of mine write me in an email, you know, a long email, and at the end of it, she just wrote, I just want to go home. And that stuck with me. I was like, oh, okay. And so Paul was having trouble with a chorus. I said, you need a chorus here. And he said, like what? I said, well, I want to go home, home. And he was like, that's great.
There's tears in Algiers. If you're calling for New Orleans, there's nobody here. So fix yourself a drink, pack your things and go. Last one out, turn off the lights and board up the doors. I wanna go home, whatever it takes. I wanna go home, where the levee's free. I wanna go home, where the streets have holes. I wanna go home, where the good times roll. Yeah! The Tremay's overflowed. It's Dante's Inferno in the Superdome.
My heart is heavy, feet are dragging everywhere it seems. This time even fats ain't walking back to New Orleans. I wanna go home, whatever it takes. I wanna go home, where the levee breaks. I wanna go home, where the streets have holes. I wanna go home, where the good times roll. Throw me something, mister!
world is gonna pay. 'Cause we'll be everywhere. They'll be dancing in your streets and music in your air. And when that water starts to fall, you won't see us around. Unless you're buying drinks for us in our hometown. I wanna go home, whatever it takes. I wanna go home when the levee breaks. I wanna go home where the streets have holes. I wanna go home where the good times roll. I wanna go home, whatever it takes. I wanna go home when the levee breaks. I wanna go home where the streets have holes. I wanna go home where the good times roll. Yeah! Come on, don't stop now.
I'm John Horniak. I'm the Senior Executive Director of the Memphis chapter of the Recording Academy. Just a few days after the Katrina hurricane happened, I was able to track down Reed Wick, who was on our board, a musician and someone involved significantly with the music community in New Orleans, and was able to talk him into coming up to Memphis and going to work for Music Cares and helping us serve all the displaced New Orleans musicians, no matter where they were.
I was kind of reluctant at first because I was still in a state of shock, but after thinking about it for a day or so, I realized, it's a great opportunity to help my fellow musicians, so I committed, and so far I've been in Memphis for 7 weeks, and to date we've helped over 1,600 musicians.
Yeah, Music Cares.
Music Cares has been helpful.
They were very responsive. The Red Cross was responsive. FEMA, we don't need to complain any more than anybody else. It's been real hit and miss,
With the initial $1 million that the Recording Academy allocated towards the Hurricane Relief Fund, their primary goal was to help musicians land on their feet. In most cases, it helped them pay a first month's rent or pay a hotel bill where they might be staying, buy some clothes, buy some food for their families. In some cases, they chose to use the money to buy instruments so that they could get back on their feet and start making their own living again.
Ladies and gentlemen, Music Cares is a wonderful organization, and they've been really helpful to us. They helped us buy all this lovely gear, the PA system and everything. Not really, but they really did help us. They gave us money for our new guitars and new amps, so if you don't like us, write a mean letter to Music Cares, because they are responsible.
How dare you spend our money on hacks like these?
Jeez.
In the case of Beaten Path, Skeet Hanks and Mike Mayu and a bunch of those guys, we actually gave them, like cash up, basically cashier's checks to where they could take the money and use it as they needed to.
We got 5 guys in the band, and everybody had a different aspect of the hurricane effect, and one guy lost everything.
So I call my insurance adjuster, and he's going to get there before me. That's all great. It's like, okay, you get there before me. I'm going to call you, and you tell me what's going on, man, because my wife's freaking out and everything like that. And so he gets there, and he gives us a call, and we just pull it into Slidell, which is outside, in about 45 minutes. So we know we're going to be a little while, and we're like, oh, so you're there. So he goes, I'm leaving. I said, so how is it? He goes, well, you haven't seen it yet, huh? I said, no, man, this first time. He's like, and he sat there like that quiet for a minute, and I was like, well, what's up, man? He goes, there's a boat on your house. And I was like, on my house? He goes, yeah, there's a boat in your backyard, too. And there's a car on top of what used to be your porch. And I was like, you gotta be kidding, right? So that was kind of funny to me. That's one of the other thing that's funny to me, because I like the funny part of it, is there's sandbags that are about this high that I stacked before I left town in case it flooded. And they're still there. And we stepped over them when we tried to break into the house, and we stepped back over them when we got out of the house.
He had a recording studio down there, which actually he recorded quite a few New Orleans acts over the years, and unfortunately it's all destroyed and gone. But I did get a chance to speak with him, and he said, they're just things. Everybody's safe, and I'm back out playing music again, and he's really happy to be alive and to be back in business. In the Memphis area, we know of about, I would estimate, 60 to 70 musicians that are here. I know there's probably about the same number in Nashville, but the bulk of the musicians, and I would probably say it's closer to 1,000 or more, probably wound up west of the city in places like Baton Rouge and Lafayette and Austin, Texas, and probably the bulk of all would be Houston, Texas.
We want to thank people like Music Cares and the Tipitina's Foundation. We appreciate their help. We got some assistance.
My name's Adam Shipley. I'm the music director for Tipitina's and the Tipitina's Foundation, and I've been living in New Orleans probably about a little over 7 years.
Bill Taylor. I'm the director of the Tipitina's Foundation. Been in New Orleans for about the same time. As a foundation, we existed for about 2 years, a little over 2 years before the storm hit.
Bill and I are lucky that we got out, and B, our immediate family are our dogs. So after about 2 or 3 days, as long as we were set with the email and a phone, it's like, all right, what are we going to do? We immediately started being that virtual connectivity of places for musicians to live while they're exiled out of the city.
Overnight, word got out that Tipitina's is the place you can go to for help if you're a professional musician. If you need an instrument, you need a place to live. And what a great way to give back to, the city, which gives us so much.
We're up here one day, and this is the day before Snug Harbor opened. I looked out the window, and that pole right there, that telephone pole, is like a famous pole. I mean, everybody who plays puts their flyers up on that pole. It's usually got about this much paper on it. Occasionally somebody will come in and like scrape it off or burn it off, and then they just fill it up again. Well, it's been empty for a long time. I looked down, and there I saw Jason putting up a flyer for the gig at Snug Harbor, the opening of Snug Harbor. And I saw him, and I waved at him, and I ran down to see him, and he said, never thought I'd be doing this again, putting up flyers on telephone poles.
So far, in the first 2 months after the storm, it's really been the neighborhood bars that have led the way as far as reestablishing music in New Orleans. Maple Leaf was the first one to open, I believe, and they're certainly the first one to do a major show with Walter Wolfman Washington. That night, on I believe it was September 8th or 9th, they had over 200 people pay to see Walter Wolfman Washington, and that was, the fact that that could happen in the city, barely, that soon after the storm, it was an incredible thing. Tipitina's opened on October 29th recently, the same evening as the Voodoo Music Festival. Booked the Rebirth Brass Band and Big Sam's Funky Nation. They didn't know how they were going to do. They advertised it by spray painting it on plywood and propping it up outside the club. 1,000 people turned out. At 12:30 at night, I was there. They stopped letting people in the door because it was too crowded. They couldn't put any more people in Tipitina's.
We opened up the door. First time we've ever had to do Rebirth with a curfew as well. So we started everything a little earlier.
I was working the door, and it was like, as people walked in, it was priceless to see. I mean, people, just breaking into a little dance step. The Professor Longhair bust is right, about 15 feet from when you walk through the door, and it's considered good luck to rub his head. So people are coming in and hugging him, and I mean, it was wonderful. I mean, people, I could tell it meant so much to so many people to be in here hearing that music in that situation. It was a powerful. I've seen a lot of music in my life, and that might be the #1 experience I've had musically ever.
My name's John Cleary, and I live here in the upper 9th ward of New Orleans, a part of town called Bywater. An old part of town by about 3 or 4 blocks from the Mississippi River. The hurricane hit here over 2 months ago now, and this is my first time being back. I came back, and it's just once again a brief opportunity, so I've been back for 2 or 3 days, but we managed to squeeze in some gigs. And, cleaning up debris. I mean, I've lost part of my roof. We had a 1.5 foot of water downstairs, so my amps have all been fried. Today we had, I think it's become a sort of a New Orleans rite of passage, the cleaning out of I'm calling it Pandora's fridge. A fridge that was full of meat that's been left in 90-degree temperatures for 2 months. I actually got the National Guard. They came round. These fellas have been very kind. They had 4 National Guard came round and moved the fridge, and to carry it through the house and down this narrow set of windy stairs. And in the process, some of the contents spilled out, and it was. We all went rushing outside. Everybody was throwing up in the street. It was the most disgusting thing. As I say, I think it's become a bit of a rite of passage, you know. Compared to many people, I've been very, very lucky. A lot of my good friends have lost everything. I mean, literally lost everything. Let's see, I'll play a little funk groove. Okay. Little funk groove. It's called Moonburn. I was a guitar player. I started playing guitar when I was really little. Everybody in my family played pretty much. So I started as soon as I was big enough to get my hands around the neck of a guitar. But when I came to New Orleans, I didn't bring a guitar with me. And the house that I moved in had an old piano. And all the New Orleans music I heard featured piano most predominantly. So that was my fun. You know, I'd go and work whatever jobs I could get at home. I'd go and play piano all night and try and copy all these little Professor Longhair licks. And the barroom that I started working at, the barroom, in fact, that I went to on my very first night in New Orleans, is still my favorite bar in the city. That's the Maple Leaf Bar on Oak Street. And I actually pretty much lived in this bar for 2 years. I lived on the 2 doors down and then round the corner, various different addresses within a stone's throw of the front door of the bar.
On September 26th, I was quoted in the New York Times saying something like, it was an article about Kermit, and I was quoted saying something like, yeah, you could duplicate Bourbon Street anywhere in the world if you allow people to expose themselves, walk around with a beer in their hands on the street, and put t-shirt shops every other building, but that you couldn't duplicate the Rebirth Brass Band on a Tuesday night at the Maple Leaf. And then shortly after that, it may have been the fall, that weekend, I heard that Hank had opened up the Maple Leaf with beer on ice, no power. He brought in generators to run the amps, and he was dedicated to getting things going. And you know, no plumbing at times. I know this month, the whole month of November, he's got music 7 nights a week. And he, you know, that kind of a dedication, that kind of, you know, Maple Leaf's been around for a long time. That's where John Cleary, you know, got his start. John went straight from the airport in New Orleans to the Maple Leaf Bar when he was 17 years old and painted the Maple Leaf so that he could be there a lot. So, you know, he's been dedicated to it. And there's been nights just recently where slamming nights. You know, John was there this past weekend. It was beautiful, and I give it to Hank to you know, for keeping it open and making it a place where people can hang right now.
Straight to my house, turned everything on to see how it was, grabbed my piano, and came straight to the Maple Leaf. They were running on generators. This whole room where we're right here was completely black. Christmas lights were running up the wall, and I just plugged into the generator and sat on the floor in the dark and just played New Orleans piano. And the whole bar was packed, and all I got all night long was thank you. And those are 2 big important words right now.
My Aunt Canary, who was a very devout Catholic lady, when a bad storm would come, I don't know what it was, I was a little child, but she would throw something out the door and she would read something that was tacked behind the door that she put up when she knew a storm was coming. And she'd read that and put it back up and burn a candle. And it was just something that later I learned. These were little things which in New Orleans we call gree-gree.
They call me Dr. Jones, known as the Night Tripper. Got a satchel of gree-gree in my hand. Big, I won't tell you, I hear from down in the bayou country. Known as the last of the best, people call me a gree-gree man. Got a many clients, come from miles around. Running down here for my prescription. Got a little medicine, cure all y'all's aches and pain and all y'all's ills. Remedies of every description, child. Little bit of what they call the call. Get it gone, gone. Walk on in this splendor. Get it gone, gone. Walk on in this splendor.
It's good to see you all. It's good to see you all here in New Orleans and that everyone's still standing. We've had a lot of death lately. We're regenerating as we speak, and to any extent that anyone would like to participate, we welcome that. Everybody's energy is welcome here tonight. We are raising the dead. You'd think that Entergy could at least turn the lights on if we can handle raising the dead.
I worry that New Orleans will become an empty brand name, just like electronic equipment that someone invented that was great stuff, and then they sold the name, and it just got, it just got left behind. So for me, I have faith that I'll find a way to get back personally. But if I get back personally and there's no New Orleans here, what's the point?
You look around and you don't see, you see activity and you see people cleaning things up, but on a large scale basis, you don't see it.
It's a spiritless body, and that's all it's going to be without those people from the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th wards.
Last night I was driving up Magazine Street and I was listening to a Dr. John song called Sweet Home New Orleans, where he talks about different parts of the city. And I was driving around, I thought, well, that part's pretty much devastated, and the lower 9, well, that's not really there anymore. And I just got choked up. You know, I mean, it's a profound thing what the musicians and how wonderful the music is and how spiritual it is here, that if you've been touched by it, you're devastated right now.
Yeah. On the other hand, I talked to Barbara Hawkins, one of the founders of the Dixie Cups, who we Jazz Fest last year, Instruments Are Coming, we inducted them into the Walk of Fame. Heard through a friend of a friend, they're living in a hotel in Tampa. But I mean, fine, I'm like, Barbara, you know, what can I get you? Don't worry, sweetheart, we're fine. How'd you do? I lost everything. And then you ask that question with no judgment and a little trepidation of, are you coming home? And I don't judge anyone, whether they're coming or not. And I ask her, and losing everything, and she's like, oh yeah. She's like, it's home.
You can drive through large sections of the city at night, and it is dead. There are no lights, it's completely dark. The neighborhoods are abandoned and unlivable. So there are huge sections of the city right now that are dead. But oftentimes when I've been driving through those sections, I was coming from Tipitina's or the Maple Leaf, where that spirit is very much alive and well, and the room is full of people that want to nurture it and protect it and perpetuate it from here on. So, you know, if that core of people remain and stay focused and stay determined, then the city will be okay. So there are sparks of life out there. It's not all gone.
I had written this song a ways back, but I rewrote it for this. Sweet home New Orleans, I shall not fear you calling. But since the levee came falling, is a new one. I said, way at my darlings, which everybody way at New Orleans is a greeting. When I was a kid, they said, way at my darling. And now it's just said. They call New Orleans people amongst ourselves yats for way at. So, but that's what I meant. I said, you know, we got music that can heal your head. But right now, hunger and misery's here instead. And hear politicians talking each and every day about help is on the way. And looting and shooting, poor people ain't got a dime. And them poor people been living like this for too long a time. You know, I mean, I pray to the spirit world for help for dreams in Katrina's wake to heal my New Orleans.
And Dr. John lost a lot of friends, some relatives, plenty of property. He's still hanging in there with us. Come on, y'all give him a big hand. One more time. Let's bring him back. Y'all make some noise. Where y'all at? Pull it up. Yeah.
Sweet home, New Orleans. I can show enough you calling. Since the levee come falling, I said, where you at? My little darling. Ain't nobody grown, ain't no second line. From the Garden District long, or to the lower nine. Easy feel, till they punch your train. You know it's sad, but some things just ain't the same. Way on down that Mississippi, in my sweet old Crescent city. Sweet home, New Orleans. Don't never hear you calling. With the levee come falling.
I said, why, Jack, my darling? Right up pretend you, there ain't no funky piano. Like you say, John, gonna take her right down the side of Louisiana. Cajuns lost the wetland, like water in the pipe. Rio from the train made down to old St. Rock. Love that city, though we all in shout. We on New Orleans, yeah. Music in there, that can help your head. On great misery, still here and stay. Yeah, you're right. Politicians talking each and every day. Promise and help, they're coming right away. Yeah, you're right. You finish shooting, hope people ain't got a dime. Hope people been living like this too long a time. Ready the spirit world, hope for dream. You can train away to here in New Orleans. Sweet home, New Orleans. Well, I sure know hear you calling. The living component. Sweet home, sweet home.
I can't say what it could be now, but I know that with some serious help, it can be a New Orleans, because we're planning to come back stronger than ever.
Zippy and the blues, yeah, me get through the night. My sweet home, New Orleans, everything alright. Good night, God bless each and every one of you.
This is for Dr. Town, everybody. In New Orleans in the background, Lord, I never met. We gonna sing something to you. Hey, one, two. Home, sweet home. Put your hands together for the band in the background. Home, sweet home. Lord, I never know what New Orleans. We're gonna be back twice as strong. Good night, everybody. Thank you very much. See all my friends back in New Orleans. We ain't through.